Hi there, Mark Satterfield here. Thanks so much for joining me. A lot of you have asked about my books. Many of you have actually read some of my books, and I thought I would just take a quick minute and go over some of the more popular books that I've written, because I've written 14 of them. But I think there's, what we got? One, two, three. I think I got six that if you are focusing on the affluent market, these definitely belong in your library. So, just real quickly, first and foremost, the Affluent Marketing Blueprint. This is the book that I wrote because I wanted to really cover the waterfront in terms of marketing to the affluent. Because, quite frankly, there's a lot of different strategies you can use, a lot of different tactics. What works necessarily well for me isn't necessarily going to be the same thing that works well for you. And the key, really, with marketing is to find a few things that you can do on an ongoing basis, because really one of the main reasons why marketing doesn't work is because we tend to give up. So we want to have a lot of different options of which we can choose, one, two, three, whatever, makes sense for you. So I wrote this book to give you really kind of the waterfront, the entire gambit, and then really took a deep dive on each of those. So, if you haven't read that, that would be where I'd recommend. Now, many of you are subscribers to my podcast. Thank you very much. We're getting over 300,000 downloads. We're number three in the marketing podcast world. So thank you very much. And as you know, the Velvet Rope Playbook, which is the name of the podcast, is based on mostly a lot of stories. Now, there's some sessions where I talk about a specific tactical thing, and we're going to start to do some interviews pretty soon. But basically, they were kind of stories, and they were created with the idea of, suppose Damon Runyon. You remember Damon Runyon? He was the person that wrote Guys and Dolls, had all those characters like Nicely Nicely Johnson and Benny South Street. Well, so I created a whole bunch of stories which are very short, very to the point, fun to read, but they illustrate a very important marketing principle. So I put these together in, the Velvet Rope Playbook, and this is a real fun read. People really enjoy it. My wife Marion, who basically doesn't like marketing books, says she loves this book because, hey, guess what? It's all full of stories, which brings me to the next book on the list, which is Velvet Rope Story Selling. So this is all about how do you create stories about yourself, stories about your clients, stories about successes, because ultimately it comes down to stories. The affluent don't remember facts and figures, the affluent remember stories. So the trick winds up being, okay, how do we create stories? So I wrote this book with really the purpose being to give you a lot of practical examples from a lot of different worlds of real estate, consulting, financial services, lots and lots of different luxury businesses, talking about your origin story, talking about success stories, because really stories, whether they're done verbally or whether they are done on your website or in your marketing collateral, that's the real key to getting out of that bell-shaped curve, being remembered, and ultimately, of course, getting more wealthy and affluent clients. So, Velvet Rope Story Selling. This I redid a earlier book that I did, which was called Unique Sales Stories. That book came out, now about 15, 18 years ago. It was a good book, wasn't a great book, but it was a good book. And I thought, I really want to do a great book around this topic of storytelling. And so that's what I did with this, if I say so myself. So this is a really good book, and I highly recommend it to you, not only because I wrote it. What else we got? Okay. I'm, focus exclusively on the affluent market. So a lot of the people who are subscribers to my podcast, subscribers on my list, people that watch videos like this, they tend to fall into a few groups. A lot of them are luxury real estate agents, a lot are financial advisors, and then there's a lot of people in different kinds of luxury businesses. But because I've got a lot of people who are in the luxury real estate book industry. I decided to do a book that focused specifically on that, and that's the Luxury Agent Playbook. So if you are a luxury real estate agent, this is a must-have. I've gotten feedback from clients who have worked for all the major real estate firms saying, hey, this is something that has really been helpful to them and their teams. This is something that I think will be enormously helpful to you. It's applicable in many ways to people regardless of what you do, but specifically if you are a luxury real estate agent, this is a must-have. All right, we're getting near the end, so hang with me. This is my most recent book, just came out, maybe a week or so ago. Power of Exclusivity. And, one of the things when I did the research for the very first book that came out about why the affluent buy from one person versus another and what's the key to selling to them, exclusivity became a really important topic. How can you make what you offer really exclusive, something that not everyone can have? And we tend to think that maybe we can't do that, but guess what? We can. And this book shares how to do this. So this is how to position your products or services to appeal to the affluent. It's really all about that positioning. It's a lot of just really kind of thinking about your brand and your branding. Lots of great exercises to help you get that from kind of concept down to actuality. Excuse me, because as you know, I am a big believer in actual practical ideas. I'm not big on theory, but this book is going to help you build out a brand that is positioned so that it has unique appeal to the affluent. It goes into legendary brands such as Rolex and Gulfstream and the Birkin bag, and also examples from financial services with firms such as Goldman Sachs, real estate, and the list goes on and on and on. So you're going to find this to be enormously helpful, especially if you're thinking about your brand and how can you make it more appealing to the affluent and wealthy. One last one. And this was something that I did, and this was really just kind of fun. This is the Gilded Revival, and as somebody who deals in the affluent marketplace for over 30 years, naturally, I'm very interested in the affluent. And I think that we are entering into a new Gilded Age. So what I decided to do was to write a book which looked at the original Gilded Age and what were the linchpins that created it, what were the lessons from the original Gilded Age that then moved into the 1980s when we were going through all the boom, the Gordon Gekko, greed is good, and now into the present day. So this is really kind of a historical perspective on affluent, and it gives us more of almost a sociological perspective on the people, starting with the Rockefellers and the Goulds all the way through the 1980s, and the people that were successful there up to the present day. So if you're interested in the affluent from a historical perspective, and you're interested in terms of how has affluence and the motivations stayed the same in some ways and changed as time goes on, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, this is a book that I think you'll enjoy. So, question I get asked an awful lot is, if you could only get one of my books, what would you get? Well, I tell you what, I have a hard time with that because, I think they're all great. But I tell you what, I'm gonna narrow it down to two. If you haven't read The Affluent Marketing Blueprint, this is a must-have because this covers the waterfront on the affluent marketplace and all the different kinds of strategies you can use, both online, offline, in person, not in person, even old school direct mail. It covers them all, gives you lots of detail, and it gives you that base of knowledge so you can select, 1, 2, 3, however many is appropriate for you, that you can implement on a consistent basis. So this would definitely be the number one book that I've done that I would recommend. Now, a close second is this book on storytelling, because it does all come down to telling stories. Stories about yourself, stories about your customers and clients, stories about your successes, because that's what's going to get you remembered. Remember, nobody really cares about facts and figures. They don't really care that much about your process. What's going to break you out from the pack are the stories that you tell, and this book is going to show you how to do that. So there is a link near wherever you are watching this video, which will take you to a page which has all my books on it, and you can order them through me, or you can go to Amazon and get them there. But the important thing is, please get them. So hope you found that helpful. Hopefully it wasn't too long-winded. But as always, thank you so much for being a part of my community. This is Mark Satterfield. Bye for now.